Alright, hello. Welcome back. So for today's video, I'm going to be more. I'm going to be more. So this one's going to be more Tesla related because I kind of got a little bored, and also I just wanted to freshen up, make things a little bit newish. So I've thought about, okay, what is one way I can improve upon my Tesla look, at least on the inside. I don't really care about the outside. The outside, they all look the same, right? Teslas all look the same. So for the inside, I'm going to make the only real thing, in a sense, other than the glass, is the wood front panel. So take a little. Sorry for the mess right now. I just finished cleaning a bit, just to prepare for the video. So as you can see here, can you focus? You see this wood panel. So right now it looks, it is a bit faded in a sense. Sorry, it's not focusing. I'm also shooting 1 out of 24 because you'll see why later. But I mean, it's not bad per se. Just up it a bit. I just think it's kind of boring, and I wanted to essentially treat it. So we're going to use. I am in no means. I'm in no means an expert in I'm not an expert in like woodworking or anything like that, but I had some experience like restoring like pieces of wood. It's not my expertise because I hate a lot of toxic materials, and paint is one of those materials that are so toxic. But so today we're going to restore some pieces of wood, and it's very basic with what you need because it's already wood and it's treated. What I looked up was that it is a walnut. I think there's also ash wood. It just depends on your model, if you do have it, of course, because now the newer model is all plastic. But I think the engineers in the first generation of Teslas, the early Teslas, is because wood is a good insulator for electricity. So I think that it's a lost. Unfortunately, product design versus product functionality and practicality is a overarching theme in today's world nowadays. We care more about how it looks rather than the insides and the process, the actual product use cases. So yeah, just gonna. Hopefully the audio isn't too bad. As well, because it is kind of windy. I'm also doing this. You should also do this in like a random parking lot or somewhere where you can get your tools again. Like you go to Home Depot to get something, or the art store, the supply store. Oh man, a grasshopper. Oh, there he goes. Anyway, so you can actually, in case you need something, so like Walmart or something, so you can go and grab it right away, because you're dealing with something that is being treated and set, so it's going to require a lot of micromanaging in a sense. So further ado, I'll show you what I have. So we got some nice gloves. If you go to the grocery stores, you can get the good gloves that are like $5. Trust me, don't get it at like Home Depot. Home Depot will sell you like $20 for like some cheap gloves that you're gonna have to. I mean, these are also cheap, but at least it's $5, you know. And if it's cleaning wise, to prep it, I use something that's very all-purpose cleaner, just very simple. It is wood too, so in a sense, you're going to have to like dehydrate it a bit. You'll get, because wood is a living object, or it was, right? But it has the same properties, similar to how our skin has an epidermis and then underneath, but For those wood, it's just an epidermis. So if that, it's hard to explain unless like you're, I guess, an art student. But yeah, you don't. So when you pre-treat things, you want to essentially, you don't want it to, what is it called? So the water will because the properties of water, it will rise up. This also has water in it, but this is about the drying phase. So it'll pretty much inflate the wood a bit. You're just using it just to clean off the surface. You could also sand it a bit, but then you might remove that, like the wood grains, so you might not want that. But yeah, I use some all-purpose cleaner that is really safe to use, because like you will also use this in case you got a little mess on your hand. You know, you want to, like, I don't know, spray on your fingers, right? You should, like, or if you want to spray on the actual gloves itself. This is a very simple thing to use. That reminds me. You also want a set of paper towels. Just any sort of paper towels. I think the brown paper towels are better, but they don't commercially sell those. So just get some white paper towels. Because this might leave some dust, but to be honest, that's not really the biggest issue. The biggest issue is like you accidentally putting it on like this. So I got the Restore and Finish. So I'm using dark walnut because I want it to be a deep dark red, but it's gonna be like mahogany-ish colored, like redwood color, because I like red sequoias and stuff like that. So yeah, I've used this brand and it's pretty good. And yeah, it just restores the color. So before, this used to be really faded, but now you can see that it's really dark-ish. But then it might have like, oh, this is like from the years of use. This is also a used car, right? So, you know. And then for my color, so I use it underneath. I'm gonna also put it on top as well afterwards to seal it. So this is what's underneath. This is also gonna be like a week-long project. So yeah, this is water-based, but this is the actual only thing that I like the color-wise. Behr, I think the price is higher because it's also it's pretty much a protection as well, but I think it's better to use both, because just like an epidermis, there's layers to your skin, and this one will go inside the wood more, while this one will go inside the wood more, but then there's going to be an overarching layer. So like essentially you're enclosing, in computer terms, you're making an enclosure, but then you're also putting a seal on it. So it's just an extra step of protection, but it won't. But the seal will also permeate through the membrane and embed itself. So this does embed itself, but this will embed itself throughout. But this will embed itself somewhat surface level. And like I said, this is going to be like a week-long project, so I'm only going to showcase like some steps of it, because it's going to be the same thing, you know, over and over again, really, of what I do. But yeah, let's get to it. And hopefully I won't run out of memory. I have a 2 terabyte card that's free. The other one is filled with images. So hopefully, and then I'm at 24 FPS, you know, so hopefully it's enough, plenty. Anyway, yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to yeah, I'm gonna get to it, because also you're gonna need many hours just to let it air dry. So yeah, I'll see you when you see me. Okay, hello, welcome back. I try to find a day that was better weather, but it's been too long, and ever since daylight savings, I just kind of gave up on waiting for a good sunlight. So yeah, pretty much I'm already at the end of it. I applied last coats and such. The last coating that you didn't see is that I took the the water stain and I mix it with in my particular case I chose red palm oil. I know that you can infuse oils such as you have to use something that is in my opinion a higher burn rate, and red palm oil is just like in it's used industrially, it's used in other mixtures from your food to your paint, but it's really good because it's a type of fat that also is solid in room temp. So so once you infuse it, it kind of acts like a thickener, but not a thickener. I don't know how to explain it, but you know how like butter gets, when it's cold, butter shrinks up. So yeah, and what you can distinguish from really good paint and really shitty paint, first of all, um, this is just from my studies of paint gathering. Oh, I'm not even in focus. I keep forgetting I'm using an autofocusing camera. But yeah, what I've noticed about at least my studies of not film, sorry, of paintings is that, first of all, if you're not using custom paint or at least modified paint of your own choosing, are you really an artist? But yeah, so when you study paint, that works very well. It has a dry state, but it can still be used. What do I mean by that? I don't really know the science behind it, but if you have to create the consistency when it's in its dry state, so when it's not heated, when it's not moved, when you mix paint, it gets a little bit like, it kind of re-energizes those molecules, or it reheats it, because the temperature change of moving molecules versus not moving molecules. So, and then also you also want to do this because you want to get rid of air bubbles. So what is the enemy in everything? It's of course, light, sunshine, right? So you get paint fading and such like that. But you also weathering, and also everything's made of carbon. So yeah, so I know it's kind of, I don't, it's hard to explain it. It's just when you study a lot of paints. So if you go buy, I didn't go buy paint. I just went into, what I did was I went into art studios at university, and then I would just study everyone painting. And what I distinguish from expensive paint to cheap paint, nothing's wrong with cheap paint. But the cheap paint has the most generic colors. More expensive paints off the shelf have different color schemes because, of course, it requires multiple materials in multiple shades. Maybe it requires a certain rock. I don't know. But what's off the shelf that you can do? So just as like you're making soup, you do not want it to coagulate. You do not want paint to essentially you want to extract all of the water from the paint as well. That's another thing. So in a sense, yes, I'm infusing, but you go get yourself a tin can from like an empty soup can. You mix the paint. I'm not a painter, but with just enough experience, and then a little bit of like, okay, this makes sense, because I'm not engineering glass coatings. I'm just mixing paint. So yeah, so once you extract all the water out or you dry it all out, you mix the paint and then your oil of choice. Another oil that you could use is avocado oil because it is also neutral. But the issue with avocado oil is that it turns green and yellowish. So you're going to introduce different pigments. Then your red and green, it's in the color schemes, they're not. There's a reason why green is chlorophyll and then red on a bark is like darker brown because it's more closely to earth because it's a different type of life form. Like for example, think of it as like when a leaf dies and it loses all its chlorophyll. What does it do? It turns brown, yellow. It turns into the color of bark. And science, whatever, trees, word. Anyway, I don't want to get too in depth in it because like then I'm gonna have to edit so much footage and it just renders the image longer because don't get me started on rendering the images. But yeah, so you mix your paint of choice. If anything, use something neutral. But there's a lot of neutral oils out there, I think. But I would use red palm oil. There's other palm oils. Use the red one because it also introduces the color red. Well, it's like more of a amber colored, but at least it won't decrease from the pigment. It will add on to it, so it layers it in a sense. And you gotta let that stuff boil for a while. Not you don't let it sit for like a minute or two. You gotta let it. It needs to sit for a while, and then you have to let it dry out. So that process took me. You can take it as long as you want. Like if you want to spend a week on it, if you want to spend a month on it. I only spent a few days on it because I was just like, I kind of got fed up with the waiting, like, perfectionism. Everything's imperfectly perfect anyway. So I coded it myself, and now we can see the result. Let me increase the exposure a bit. But yeah, and you also want to leave this at the very end because now all I have to do before I cut my nails, so you need some, you should get some, you should not cut your nails yet. But yeah, I'm just going to scrape it all off. And the best thing to use is your nails. Yeah, because it's like a soft material. Like it won't scratch the plastic. I know you could use sponges or something, but maybe you can find a sponge. I wouldn't know because I know this is plastic and yeah, but I'll just use my nail and then afterwards we'll have the finished product. But I think I like it as is. No complaints about it, the color. And as I looked at it as it's drying, it does look pretty good. It looks much better from far away. Of course, since I painted it, I do see all the imperfections myself, but essentially this is like the best it's gonna get. Unless I'm willing to spend another, like, maybe in another time I might recoat it again. But yeah, you have to also let it dry out, so I let it a week drying out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you just everything good takes time. So afterward, I'll just do another clip and then video of it. But yeah, I do very much enjoy what I created. Let's see, what can yeah. So I'll scratch off all that paint extras and then be finally done. It's been like, it's supposed to take me only 2 weeks, but I spent another week and a half because I wanted the lighting to be better, but it's not. So, because I think it looks much better in the sunlight. And then yeah, so I'll come back and I'll just be the end of me scratching this off. It might take me like about 10 minutes or so, but yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, as I have done scratching off the paint, you can see there's nothing. Just focus, dial in that focus. But yeah, pretty much is done. From afar, it looks really good. But yeah, I don't know. Everything can always be more perfect, but I like it how it is. And yeah, this took me like a month to do. So, you know, I don't want to spend more time on this because yeah, it took a while. But I do enjoy it now, and I think the next, I gotta still look up, I'm still looking up and researching about like the paint or finding a fabric to change it. Because like as I look into it, it's like to change the fabric, it's like, it's not an easy thing. So like painting it would be better, but then it's like, oh, I don't know, like, you know, it's like the thing, it's like, I don't, you know, it's fabric, so yeah, I don't know. Also another thing I dislike about Tesla is that they don't have like a roof holder thing, like to put your hand up. Like when some people, if like you drive a little too fast because, you know, it's a Tesla, they don't know where to put their hands. So then they like, you know, they hold on to the side door. But obviously, you know, maybe I don't know. So then they don't know where to hold. So they hold on to the seat or the side door. So yeah, that's the only thing I wish about Teslas. I'm just using a suction cup thingy because like sometimes it's just like resting my hand on it. I don't know. It's just like a habit from like, you know, regular other cars. But yeah. Anyway, cool stuff. I really enjoy the color of it. I think if I could do an adjustment, yeah, I think I would just spend more time perfecting the paint and then spend more time staining it, because you know, and then also, I mean, yes, I've looked up that you can take out the panel, but I do not want to do that. That just sounds like a pain to do. And I mean, I got it as good as is, you know. I mean, another thing I could have done is like, oh, I spray painted it. But I think for for the sake of this one, this requires a brush of some sort. So yeah, I did try out smudging it with like different type of like sponges, but it did not look good at all. I don't know why. Maybe the paint didn't like it needed like actual bristles for the paint. But yeah, and then yeah, since it's oil based, I hope I don't know, we'll see how long it takes because yeah. Yeah, because it is oil based. It should be fine, but I don't know how it'll be when I have to clean it. So far, I haven't had to clean it. Like usually, I do clean the thing, um, like of the wood panel, but lately I haven't. I just have to like air dust the, you know, using. You can use whatever to dust the air out, or you know, you open up the windows while driving the car to remove whatever dust. But yeah, lately I haven't seen that much dust on it. So I don't know, maybe the coating is doing something. Maybe it's more difficult for the dust to adhere. So yeah, and like for example, you can't even notice the dust in this and stuff, but who knows? Because yeah, that's another thing too. I have to find anyway. That's another story, but yeah, I'm glad I shared this. This is like a very stupidly simple, I think, but I did put a little of my own thought into it, and then hopefully I can darken the fabric up top, because then I want it all blacked out, so that it will minimize light reflections and stuff. Because I've sat in the car at night and I've noticed that like, oh, the most reflection is literally because of this and the panel. So to minimize all the reflection, I just need it to be darkened, and I think if needs come to be, I will do fabric paint. But I think the fabric paint just needs to be a little bit. It could literally be a dry rub in a sense for this case, since it's fabric. But we'll see. I still got to research. I still got to research this topic because I want it done correctly, or at least how I like it to be. So yeah, to the next video. Testing out.